These characteristics and geography of a country shape its attitudes, responses, and policies towards its neighbors and to the rest of the world. For any country, ladies and gentlemen, it is also important who its neighbors are, as their attitude, irrespective of their size or power, has a direct bearing on vital issues of its security, development, and resource allocation. The clear example is India, huge country, Afghanistan, a tiny country, but both countries have had a deep impact on our existence. A glance at the map of our region will show that Pakistan lies at the confluence of some of the most important and volatile regions of the world. Our location gives Pakistan an unrivaled relevance as a factor of stability and harmony, not only in our own region but also the regions beyond. Pakistan's strategic location was pivotal to the global dynamics of the Cold War era. The policy of containment, as we all know, was enacted on our soil, and we were a major player in dismantling what the free world once called the evil empire of the former Soviet Union. Geography thus places on Pakistan the onerous responsibility of consistent vigilance and careful conduct of its relations, not only with its immediate neighbors, but also with the rest of the world, particularly the major powers, the Muslim world, and the rest. Since its independence, Pakistan's foreign policy had to be defined by its geostrategic environment and by its governance issues, including politico-economic stability and security challenges. Our external relations since the very beginning of our independence have been marked by four major constants. One, our quest or need for security and survival as an independent state. Two, the legacy of our conflict and tension-ridden relationship with India, which in fact has constituted the center point of our foreign policy. Three, our excessive reliance on the West for our economic, political, and military survival. And four, our total solidarity with the Muslim world and unflinching support to Muslim causes. Against this backdrop, Pakistan's foreign policy has remained marked by a complex balancing process in the context of the turbulent history of the region in which it is located, its religious heritage, its geostrategic importance, its security compulsions, its untapped economic potential, and the gravity and vast array of its domestic problems with their impact on the regional as well as global security environment. In the process, Pakistan has encountered unbroken series of challenges and experienced wars and territorial setbacks. It has lost half the country, and even today, it continues to live in a hostile neighborhood. Above all, the post-9/11 scenario has placed it on the global radar screen in a very negative image as the breeding ground of extremism, terrorism, and militancy. A country's standing in the Committee of Nations always corresponds directly to its political, social, economic, and strategic strength. Unfortunately, throughout its independent statehood, Pakistan has gone through traumatic experiences which have left us politically unstable, economically weak, socially fragmented, and physically disintegrated. It has always had to respond to exceptional challenges inherent in its ever volatile regional and global environment, which not only had an indelible influence on its conduct as a state, but also conditioned its national agenda, its state priorities, and its policy-making decision processes. A few words about the historical perspective. Our post-independence political history, ladies and gentlemen, has been replete with endemic crises and challenges that perhaps no other country in the world has experienced. And our tally of woes includes costly wars and perennial tensions within India, loss of half the country, territorial setbacks, political breakdowns, military takeovers, economic stagnation, social malaise, societal chaos and disintegration, sectarianism, and a culture of violence and extremism. These are the woes and the problems that we are living with. And as a young nation, from day one, since its independence, Pakistan has lived with an external threat to its survival. We have never had a tension-free environment. When we became independent in 1947, we were a house divided, not against itself, but by more than 1,000 miles of hostile India's territory. The world itself was divided in two rival and mutually hostile blocs, presenting our foreign policy with a difficult choice. Either align with the free world, represented at that time by Western democracies, or accept subservience to the authoritarian and monolithic communist system. The choice for the country was delineated by the founder of Pakistan in his first meeting with the American ambassador, in which he told him that Pakistan and the United States are going to be equal partners in pursuit of freedom and democracy. Since then, well, in the 50s, with growing concern about India's designs against our independence, we entered into a mutual defense agreement with the United States in 1954. And by 1955, we had joined two major Western alliances, SEATO and CENTO, in the hope that they will provide strength to us in our quest for survival. So we had a different objective in our mind at that time when we joined these alliances. But the authors of those alliances, they had totally a different role for us earmarked, that they had earmarked for us. So when it came to defending ourselves against India in two wars, 1965 and 1971, we were left all alone. We fought them alone. And in the process, we lost half the country. So Pakistan's geostrategic environment is such that since its creation, it has encountered unbroken series of challenges. Our strategic location was pivotal to the global dynamics of the Cold War, and it remains relevant even today when the United States fights its war against terrorism. Following the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in the late 1979, Pakistan became a key ally of the United States and also the frontline state in the last and decisive battle of the Cold War, which hastened the collapse of the Soviet Union and its symbol, Berlin Wall.